Yo guys, what's going on and welcome to a brand new video. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel because we're on the road to 1k subscribers. Leave a like so it helps to get out to more people, and let's get into it. So we are finally back after a week of international football. It's finally over. We're back to Premier League football, and this is back to my Premier League predictions. We only have one more international break to go. I think that's after game week 11, I'm pretty sure, or might be before game week 11. I think it's right after game week 11. So we've got game week 8 today, so the game week 8 Premier League predictions. Let's start off Nottingham Forest kickoff against Chelsea in the early kickoff. They always say never back the early kickoff, but Chelsea are going to win this game, surely. Nottingham Forest have been very bad this season. They've been poor. They're near the bottom. They're in a relegation battle at the moment. At the moment, they are in a relegation battle. And I think Chelsea are going to win this game. I think they're going to have too much for Forest. You know, Chelsea are trying to finish top 4 this season. Nottingham Forest, at the moment, trying to get some form to survive, basically, because they have not started the season off well. And I think that's going to continue. So I think Chelsea are going to win this game. I think they're going to win it comfortably. So I think it's going to be a 2-0 Chelsea win. Next up, we've got Brighton versus Newcastle. So Brighton will play Newcastle. Last week, Newcastle managed to beat Forest 2-0, while Brighton drew with Wolves. How do I think this game is going to go? I think Newcastle are going to have too much for Brighton. Newcastle are going to start going like this, in my opinion. I think they're going to start pushing up back towards where they want to be, which is challenging for top 4, which I think they're going to get to, basically. And yeah, I think Newcastle are going to have too much for Brighton, and they're going to win this game. I think it's going to be 2-1. 2-1 to Newcastle United. So a Newcastle United 2-0 win. Next up is a big game for both teams, and of course it's Burnley versus Leeds United. A massive game for both teams. You can't really say must win, but it kind of is. You know, you can't really say must win this early in the season, but it kind of is for both teams in the way of Burnley at the moment. They've had a very tough start to the season. They played Liverpool, they played City, you know, a very tough start for them. And this would be a massive win for them to start pushing themselves, getting themselves firstly out of the relegation zone, and then start pushing themselves trying to get it further up. While if Leeds United win, we make that gap even bigger between us and the bottom 3 with Burnley being there. So it's massive for both teams. I think we're going to have enough. I think Leeds United are actually going to win this game, and I think it's going to be a comfortable win. I think it's going to be 3-0. I know it's at Turf Moor, and I know Turf Moor can be a tough place to go. Like any ground in the Premier League. Any ground in the Premier League is a tough place to go. But I think we're going to have too much for Burnley in this game, and I think we're going to win it comfortably 3-0, and it's going to be like a statement victory to say we're staying up. I know it's too early to say that, but you know what I mean when I say that. Next up is a big game between two teams that have started the season off very well. It's Crystal Palace against Bournemouth. Two teams that have started off both teams have started the season pretty well. Last week, of course, Crystal Palace lost their first game in 19, losing 2-1 to Everton, while Bournemouth, on the other hand, went on to beat Fulham 3-1. Both teams have started very well this season. Both teams at the moment are trying to push and keep themselves in the top 4 because the way they've both started the season, they can do that. You never know. One of these teams could be playing Champions League football next season if they continue playing the way they're playing, because both teams have played very well to start the season. And I think in this game, I think it's going to be a 0-0. I think it's going to be a draw. For some reason, I feel like it's going to be a draw. Actually, I'm not going to say 0-0. I'm going to say 1-1. I think there'll be a goal for both teams. There will be a goal for both teams because Semenyo is going to score, isn't he? Semenyo is going to score. So I think this game is actually going to end 1-1. I think it's going to be a very entertaining game of football. I feel like this is going to be an entertaining game. It's massive for both teams, as I just said. Both teams want to continue pushing into that top 4, trying to keep themselves in that top 4 and in that race to play European football next season. Yeah, even Champions League football next season, which is crazy that they could both legit be in the top 4 the way they're playing this season. Like, they're both very good teams. Yeah, and I think it's going to be a draw in this game. I think they're going to keep it. It's going to be a 1-1. Next up, we've got Man City versus Everton. How do I think this game will go? I think Man City are going to have too much for Everton. It is at the Etihad, and I think they're going to have too much for them. I think they're going to win this game 2-0. A 2-0 Man City win against Everton. Everton have done well to start the season. You know, they have played well, but I think Man City are going to have too much for them, and it's going to be a 2-0 Man City win. Also, because Grealish can't play as well. Grealish isn't allowed to play, of course, because he's versing his club. And yeah, it feels like one of those games that Man City is just going to win easily. And yeah, I think they're going to have too much. I mean, they should have too much for Everton, but Everton have started the season well, but I think they're going to have too much. As I said, 2-0 Manchester City. Next up, we've got Sunderland versus Wolves. Now, this game, in my opinion, the way Wolves have started the season, I still can't see them getting a win. I still can't see them winning. So that's why I'm going to say Sunderland are going to win this game. It is Sunderland are at home. Sunderland are at home, which is why I just think they're going to have way too much for Wolves. I think the crowd, the way they're going to be this season, it's going to be like Ellen Road. It's going to be a fortress. When you get promoted to the Premier League now, it's all about making your home ground a fortress. Leeds are doing that, and Sunderland are doing that, and I think Sunderland will continue doing that with a win against Wolves. I'm going to say 3-1, so a 3-1 Sunderland win, and yeah, they're going to continue getting points, and they're playing pretty well this season. I know they had a bit of a hiccup last week where they lost 2-0 to Man United, but I think they're going to bounce back with a win against Wolves. 3-1 Sunderland. Next, I've got Fulham versus Arsenal, and yeah, I just think Arsenal are going to have too much for Fulham. Arsenal are going to win this game. It is a Craven Cottage, but yeah, Arsenal are going to have too much for them. It's going to be a 4-1 win to Arsenal, and yeah, I don't think they're going to have too much for Fulham, and they're just going to absolutely wipe the floor with them, basically. 4-1 to the Arsenal. Next game we got is Spurs versus Villa. Now, going into this game, Spurs had a very good start to the season. Meanwhile, Villa just picked up another win against, they just beat Burnley. So in their last game, they actually just beat Burnley, so they got a win. They've won 2 out of their last 2 games, of course. Villa not being able to score a goal before then, and all of a sudden scoring 3 goals, and then 2 goals last week, scoring 5 and 2, and they finally started to find their way of scoring goals. So that's good for them, but I think Spurs are going to have too much for them, and they're going to win this game. But I do think Villa are going to score. That's why I'm going to go with a 3-1 Spurs win. I think Spurs have too much for them, but it's going to be a 3-1 Spurs win. Next game is, of course, a Liverpool against Man United, and I just think it's going to be another one of those. It's going to be another one of those games where Liverpool are going to have way too much for Man United, and they're going to absolutely batter them. I'm going to go 5-0. 5-0 Liverpool. I mean, we've had a 5-0 before. We've had a 7-0. We've had a 4-0. And yeah, I think we're going to get a 5-0 again. I think we're going to get another one it's going to be between 3 to 5-0 in my opinion. But I'm going to say 5-0. I'm going to say 5-0 Liverpool. It just feels like one of those games was going to happen again with Liverpool. This game can go one of 2 ways. Liverpool either smash Man United completely, or Man United somehow get a fluky win with like a scrappy goal and win like 1-0. It's one of the two. It's either going to be a very tight game where Man United win and get away with it somehow, or Liverpool is going to absolutely blow them off the park, prove why they're the way better team, and smash them again like 5-0, which I'm going to go with 5-0 Liverpool. And the final game of the game, we've got West Ham versus Brentford. This is a very difficult one to actually predict because both teams have not really had a good start to the season. You know, both teams had a poor start to the season. Both teams at the moment could be relegated, so this is actually a very big game. You've got 19th place West Ham, who are on 4 points, and then you've got Brentford, who are in 16th on 7 points. So this is a big game for West Ham. If they can win this game and get level on points with Brentford, this is massive for them. And I do think West Ham being at home against Brentford, I think they're going to have too much for them. I actually think West Ham are going to win this game. I think it's going to be a very tight game, though, and I think they're going to nick it in the end. I think it's going to be 2-1 to West Ham. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Let me know your score predictions. As always, make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.